I'm Mark.
I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of January 11th, 2017. A huge week of new comics to talk about. Coming to you from Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio, before the store opens on New Comic Book Day, where we reveal the books that we like the most. My pick of the week is The Deep, #1 of 6, by Tom Taylor and James Brower. This is published by Boom Studios under their Kaboom imprint.
Kaboom!
Meaning, it's an all-ages book, but don't let that stop you. This was so much fun. I recommend this for anyone who's a fan of The Incredibles or the Fantastic Four or the Future Quest series that's going on. It is about a family of 4 adventurers that explore the waters in a cool submarine, and that's what they do. It's brother and sister that kind of antagonize each other the way the Human Torch and the Thing do. You've got a very smart father figure, similar to Reed Richards, and an adventurer mother like Sue Richards. And
they're all wearing uniforms with circles on their chests.
Yes.
So it's not at all Fantastic Four.
With an octopus tentacle on it. But you know what? The Incredibles was a big ripoff of that too. Sort of. But it's written by Tom Taylor, folks, and we'll get to the Tom Taylor triple play in just a second here. Tom Taylor, who writes all kinds of great stuff in the world of comics, and this is also a series on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
It's animated. Amazon? I think it was originally aired on Australian TV or something.
Yeah, because
but it's on Netflix now.
Okay,
but Taylor created the show. It's his cartoon.
And do you know if this is an adaptation of that, or is this new stuff?
I don't think it is, but I cannot say that with complete certainty.
Okay,
it didn't look familiar to me.
All I know is that I really loved it. The artwork is top notch. The writing, of course, is great. The artwork is equally as great as the writing in the story. Again, all ages book. You can share it with your kids, share it with your wife. Don't hide it from your kids or your wife. I really loved it. My pick of the week, The Deep, #1.
And to go along with...
wait. Before we get there, I have an also-ran public service announcement. Speaking of water and oceans, the first volume of Aquaman from DC Universe Rebirth is out this week as well, by Dan Abnett and several artists. So if you were waiting to read the first volume of the new Aquaman series, it's out. Go get it.
All right, and also go along with The Deep, we've got from Tom Taylor another awesome issue of All New Wolverine. And I know some of you have been waiting for the complete Year 2 collection, all-in-one volume of Year 2 of Injustice by Tom Taylor, which is really where he kind of blew up, at least in our minds, as an awesome writer of comics. And brand new this week, also from Boom, we've got Justice League Power Rangers #1, written by Tom Taylor with art by John Byrne. No, it's not John Byrne,
I don't know
obviously.
I don't know if he's related to John Byrne.
But this is a really good crossover, because I can tell you I care about this much about Power Rangers.
I care less about Power Rangers.
But no, it was
Sorry,
good.
Austin St. John.
I enjoyed it. I liked the way he combined the universes. Stefan, or possibly Stephen Byrne, is the artist and colorist. But no, you get a good flavor. It starts off in the Power Rangers universe. They get sucked into the DC universe, and we see some recognizable DC characters. And it sets up something horrible going on where they got to team up.
And it's Tom Taylor.
It is Tom Taylor.
That's, you should be able to trust writers that you like, and I know that both of us will pretty much read anything that Tom Taylor writes.
Absolutely.
Even Justice League Power Rangers.
And as evidenced by the fact that we read it and liked it.
Yeah. Is it your turn? It's my turn.
That's you.
It's my turn. Okay. Next up, Batman Detective Comics #948, written by James Tynion IV. Amazing artwork by Ben Oliver. And I have to check something here. Sorry, it's co-written by Tynion and Marguerite Bennett. Marguerite Bennett is they're both doing the Batwoman Rebirth series, or the Batwoman solo series that's spinning out of this. This is a little bit of backstory on Batwoman, but also present-day Gotham City, where they're still dealing with the fallout from the Monster Men storyline that happened. My God, this is a beautiful book. This is Ben Oliver. I love you. It is amazing, but very much continues threads that Tynion has started in previous issues of Detective Comics. Detective is consistently one of the best DC titles month in and month out, and this is no exception. It's also a fairly easy jumping on point. It's part 1, so get in there, and God, Ben Oliver's artwork is great.
My pick of the week this week is God Country, written by Donny Cates with art by Jeff Shaw. And this is an indie book that's a little bit of a slow starter. This first issue is really intriguing, but we got a preview of 2 and 3, or just 2? I've definitely read more of this book, and it gets better as it goes on. It's good in the first issue, but it gets great in my estimation. So you've got a guy somewhere out west living with his dad and his wife and kid, and his dad is just not in great shape. He's got Alzheimer's or some other degenerative mental illness. He's not intelligible. He's abusive. He just, he's not the man he remembers from his childhood, and it's destroying their lives. His dad's causing problems with the other people. His wife is considering leaving him because of the relationship with her father-in-law and his effect on their daughter. And that all comes to a culmination in a tornado, which lands a giant magic sword, destroying the house. And when the father picks up the giant magic sword, he's suddenly himself again. He can think and be normal, but he also has the combat prowess and strength to lift this sword and fight the fights that need fighting. And it's great. I don't know what more I can say about it. A lot of the people I respect in the industry were raving about it and talking about they're happy to see Cates finally kind of come into his own. I have no idea who Donny Cates is, but Bendis and Spencer and a couple other people were
Mortal Kombat or something.
Cates wins. But no, God Country was very cool. If you like independent books, it's definitely worth a look. If you like books like Birthright that have kind of fantasy stuff combined with a family dynamic, that's where you should be.
Yeah, it's slice of life meets fantasy. And as Josh said, you may finish the first issue and just go, but stick with it. There's more coming. Finally for me this week, All-Star Batman has a new story arc. This is issue number 6. Of course, the series will be written by Scott Snyder until the cows come home, which is fine with us. But this time he is reteamed with his former artistic collaborator, Jock! Jock is here, and this is a storyline called Ends of the Earth, and it features Batman versus Victor Fries in Alaska. And this is a complete 180 from the previous All-Star Batman storyline featuring Two-Face. A lot of people like that. It wasn't really our cup of tea, but this one just knocked our socks off and is, as I said, stylistically, artistically, the way that the writing is being done, the way that the whole thing is visually presented is a 180 from where we were with All-Star Batman, and it is awesome. You need to pick it up. Part 1, All-Star Batman number 6, if you're not reading it. And the nice thing about All-Star Batman, it's an anthology series, so
you don't have to have read the previous
You can
one.
jump in right here. You don't have to have read the previous story, so do so if you like Batman. If you like Batman, Scott Snyder, or Jock! And speaking of Batman, also out this week is the first volume of Tom King and David Finch's DC Universe Rebirth Batman story, which we thoroughly enjoyed, featuring Gotham and Gotham Girl. This is a great story and deserves to be in your library. Any library. Any librarians want it? Let us know.
Yeah, I love Capullo and Snyder, but I think Snyder and Jock are that's the team. That's the original detective team. Those my boys. And Snyder's Mr. Freeze annual was one of the best single issue stories he did during his run, so this is a callback to that, and can't say enough nice things about that book.
That was the review, Josh, when we got the phone call from Scott Snyder. When he called us after hours and left us a voicemail thanking us for the review as he was giving his son a bath. Thank you, Scott Snyder. We still haven't been able to talk to you on the phone. I did meet you face-to-face in San Diego 4 years ago, though. So. And it was after he left that call. That's how long ago it was.
It was a very long time ago.
Because I asked him about it when I met him.
It was the first year of Rebirth, right? I mean, that's when the first annuals came
New 52.
out. Or New 52, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm from Alter Ego Comics. We did a review, and you called and left us a voicemail. I was like, oh, yeah. I don't know if you remember.
That's what he sounds like. Oh, yeah. Next up for me, Suicide Squad number 9. This is a tie into Justice League Suicide Squad, issue 4 of which is out this week. And if you like Max Lord's team in that book, you absolutely want to check out this Suicide Squad. You don't have to have read the previous ones. If you're following Justice League Suicide Squad, you have everything you need to know. And this is seeing, in the Justice League Suicide Squad book, it was revealed that Max Lord's team of cronies were a previous incarnation of the Suicide Squad under Amanda Waller, and in this issue we get to see that. We get to see their first mission in the field, we get to see what goes right, what goes wrong, and we get to see the effect that has on Amanda Waller and the way she interacts with other people in the future. And it's awesome. It's a Suicide Squad where the characters don't have to be likable. To a certain extent, they're trying to make Deadshot and Harley people you root for a little bit, even though when they're killing people, but these guys are just the scum of the earth, and it really works as a one-off story.
Some other books that we like this week that we won't go into too much depth on. Red Sonja number 1 is out. Amy Chu and Carlos Gomez, the latest incarnation of Red Sonja from Dynamite Entertainment. The coolest part about this is that Red Sonja has been transported to present-day New York City. That's all you need to know.
Brian Bendis has a twofer or a threefer this week. We've got Jessica Jones and Miles Morales Spider-Man, which includes the start of the crossover with Spider-Gwen sitting in a tree. And in Jessica Jones, we actually find out what the crap is going on, and that made me very happy.
Daredevil 15 is out. It's part 1 of a new storyline and a great jumping on point. Matt Murdock, under his alias Mike Murdock, hires a bunch of low-life thugs to try and kill Daredevil, and we'll see what happens with that.
I love it when Mike Murdock
It's also the
comes
return
back.
of a classic Daredevil villain.
Miss Marvel, someone in Kamala Khan's World of Battlecraft guild mentioned something about her identity, and now she's got to figure out why someone on the internet to know who she is.
Oh, that's not nice. Flash 14, the return of Captain Cold. Again, all you need to know.
I have that also. But I've also got going with that Titans 7, where Wally West races Clark Kent, the only 2 survivors from the Pre-52 universe. What more do you want? Written by Dan Abnett, who wrote Aquaman. We talked about it a minute ago.
Yeah, and I forgot to read that, so I gotta check it out. Green Valley number 4, for the 3 of you that are reading this with us, you need to, God almighty, I wish more of you were buying this book.
Very good. Mighty Thor number 1, this is the start of the Shi'ar Asgard War. Guardian versus Heimdall.
Yes, Occupy Avengers number 3 by David Walker and Carlos Pacheco. Oh, it's just such a fun book. And they fight Nighthawk, who I could give a rat's ass about.
Is he the one from New Warriors? Or?
No, he's Squadron Supreme.
Oh, yeah, I don't care about those guys.
Yeah, I don't either.
Captain America 9 gives us the trial of Maria Hill and more awesome Steve Rogers growing up evil. Wonder Woman 14 is the end of Wonder Woman Year 1, and awesome as every issue of Wonder Woman Year 1 has been. We've got a Justice League America one-shot, Vixen Rebirth, written by Steve Orlando, and some tweaking from the previous origin of the character, but definitely enjoyable. And last up for me this week, we've got Red Hood and the Outlaws 6, end of the first arc. We've got the Dark Trinity together, and it's awesome and fun.
So there's a huge pile of comics sitting in the middle of the table here, plus piles scattered all over the place. Just a great week for comics. Head out to your local comic shop and pick up something good, something cool. Let us know if you liked the episode in the comments below, and of course give us a thumbs up if you did, and make sure to subscribe. We'll include the link to our private Facebook group where we can continue the conversation about comics that are awesome. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next week.